politics.
That's according to Majority Leader Senator Rory Respicio, who says, well, the news of over $15 million in Section 30 funds is certainly good news. What's not is the manner in which he claims Governor Eddie Calvo withheld the information from Democrat lawmakers.
Because no sooner than the budget bill was signed, our Republican colleagues introduced a series of bills which kind of were inconsistent with their position throughout the budget process.
The budget bill was signed into law Wednesday with the Section 30 announcement just yesterday, along with the introduction of 4 measures from the GOP senators to fund tax refunds, schools, and public safety. Senator Respicio further takes issue with the administration, claiming they received the news after the budget bill was signed. He further notes the letter from the Department of the Interior responding to the request for Section 30 was dated August 27th, just 2 days before the legislature attended a GMH board meeting detailing their flatlining finances, and well before the budget bill was passed and signed into law.
So at the time, the governor knew that information, but he never offered that up as a solution to alleviate GMH's crisis.
Senator Respicio further criticizes how 7 budget iterations went before lawmakers with one of the biggest issues over the tax refunds provision.
So now that one of the bills calls for providing an additional $9 million for tax refunds, tells us that they want to bring it back up to $129 million. So if that's the case, then Governor Calvo owes Speaker Ben an apology on that one issue alone.
If Senator Respicio is asking for an apology, I guess I could say that I'm sorry he doesn't understand the issue.
Governor Eddie Calvo's Deputy Press Secretary, Phil Leon Guerrero, responds to the Majority Leader's allegations, saying it's simply not true.
And if Senator Respicio or if any Democrat who thinks that we were holding this information for whatever reason they are imagining, all they had to do was just pick up the phone call and ask when we got this news.
Leon Guerrero says the letter from DOI was dated in late August, but that the administration had only received information via email on September 11th, formally with the fiscal team and the governor's senior staff receiving the electronic letter only yesterday morning.
So for anyone to say that we were holding this information is just it's simply untrue.
And just as Respicio has cried politics, so does Leon Guerrero, who alleges it's clear that every time Governor Calvo or any of the Republican senators come out with initiatives to pay tax refunds, the Democrats find every excuse to oppose it. Excuses, Leon Guerrero says, are not rooted in truth and demonstrate how the Democrats don't understand how the process works.
Because if you look at the current tax year, what we'll be paying out at the end of the fiscal year is somewhere around $107 million. Even with this additional $9 million is $107 million. For him to talk about 113 or 120 or 129 really underscores how little he knows about the process, because what we're paying is for the current tax year. It has nothing to do with next year's budget or next year's provision or next year's anything.
Leon Guerrero adds at the end of the day, when the administration pays out all the refunds for this current tax year, it will be $107 million. Respicio, meanwhile, says the Republicans are doing the very things that were contained in the Budget Act, such as payment for tax refunds that were already proffered by several Democrat senators, such as providing maintenance for DOE schools and the purchase of police vehicles. We should further note, despite the email correspondence indicating that an original copy of the letter had been mailed, that is yet to arrive. The governor, meanwhile, is in support of the 4 measures introduced by the Republicans yesterday.